to another wrestling review brought to you by your boy, Deluxe Man. Today, we take a look at the Mae Young Classic, episodes 5 through 8. These episodes feature the second round, the quarterfinals, and the semifinals. And next week, live on the network, we'll be doing the finals right after SmackDown. And yes, I will be up here live to talk about that. I have to say, episodes 5 through 8 gave me more of what I wanted from this tournament. Now, episodes 1 through 4 were fine. But for the most part, those matches were decent. They were passable. They weren't groundbreaking great. At the same time, the Cruiserweight Classic had the same thing. Like, the first round matches, you had some good matches in there, a couple of great matches. But for the most part, they're nothing spectacular. It wasn't until we got to the second round, then the quarterfinals and semifinals, that we got the great matches. And the same thing applies here for the Mae Young Classic. First round was okay. We had a couple of good, some even great. A lot of them were fine, okay, nothing terrible, except for the Marty Bell versus Rachel Evers match, which was bad. It was okay for me because, quite frankly, it was short enough to where I didn't get too upset about it. But people are calling that the worst match of the entire tournament, and I agree. Now that we're getting into the second round, we're starting to see much more better matches. We're starting to see a lot of good chemistry happening with the women. I feel like if you're going to watch the tournament, definitely go out of your way to see the matches from episodes 5 and on. With that said, though, I have a couple of things I want to discuss before I even get to the matches. Namely, the commentary between Jim Ross and Lita, and of course, the 4 Horsewomen War, which was what everybody's talking about. Let's get right into it with the 4 Horsewomen. So, as you guys know, there are 2 sets of 4 Horsewomen. The 4 Horsewomen of WWE, Bayley, Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. And then the 4 Horsewomen of MMA/UFC. And I think that's Ronda Rousey for sure. Marina Shafir, I think that's the wife of Roderick Strong, Jessamine Duke, and of course, Shayna Baszler, who is a part of the Mae Young Classic. Don't waste this opportunity. You have a chance to do a big money match for everybody. Come on, being someone who's going to be at Survivor Series this year, I would love for them to have a Survivor Series match between Sasha, Charlotte, and hopefully Bayley if she's rested up and ready, and Becky taking on the 4 Horsewomen, and we get the debut of Ronda Rousey, of course Shayna Baszler too, but the debut of Ronda Rousey, especially in WWE. That's not really a Survivor Series match. It's a great, awesome Survivor Series match, and the only reason why I wanted to be at Survivor Series is because I'm gonna be there, selfishly. But that is really a WrestleMania match. Do not pass up a chance to do that match. Now, if you're worried about them not being main roster ready, do it on NXT. Make that an NXT TakeOver special match. Why not bring all 4 of them back for one last NXT run to have the match against Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, Jessamine Duke, and Shafir? Why not? I would love to see that match wherever it is, WWE or NXT. I don't care. I just want to see the match. And I will be pissed off if they never let it happen. You better do this match. I don't care if it's at Survivor Series, if it's at Royal Rumble, or you make me wait till WrestleMania, which is what you should do. Because what have you got for WrestleMania now? You already gave away John Cena and Roman Reigns. What else is there? I think the best option right now is to make us wait till WrestleMania. You'll give the MMA girls a chance to get used to the WWE style. They'll still work stiff because that's what they want. And by they, I mean Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and Bayley. They want that stiffness. They want it to feel as real as possible and to give them a chance to, once again, make history. This is a no-brainer. Don't waste your time on this. If you want to give it away at Survivor Series, I will be there to watch it. If you want to make us wait to WrestleMania, I'm still going to be there to watch it. I'm not going to be there live, but I'm going to be there watching it on the WWE Network. So don't waste your time on this. This is money. Let's talk about Jim Ross and Lita, because a lot of people are complaining about commentary not having a lot of energy for the show. And you got to understand something when it comes to me. I've been watching wrestling for almost 2 decades. I grew up with Jim Ross. JR, to me, is the best commentator ever. To me. There have been other commentators before him, and some of y'all might feel differently. Maybe y'all feel Gordon Soley was the best commentator. Some of y'all might feel Gorilla Monsoon or Bobby the Brain Heenan. You have your opinion. To me, it's Jim Ross. So, Jim Ross on the show or Jim Ross involved in anything, I'm gonna love. And I'll admit my bias. I don't care. I know what you're saying when y'all say the commentary was boring or didn't have the energy that you wanted from the Mae Young Classic. And in some instances, I'm not gonna say you're wrong. There were parts, even for episodes 5 through 8, where there was dead air with Jim Ross and Lita. And I'm just like, okay, someone say something. I'll admit, it's happened a couple of times, and it was kind of off-putting for me. But let me ask you this. Has there ever been any match during this entire tournament, episodes 1 through 8, where the commentary took away from the match? For real, that's the question I ask you. Has it taken away from the match? Because quite frankly, it hasn't. So, what is there to complain about? Yes, you want the Attitude Era Jim Ross. I would love for him to mark out for every match that he watches. You know, I miss that Jim Ross. And trust me, I get it. I understand it, but you know what? Who's to say he won't do it in the finals when they go live? He's done it a couple of times in spurts. Like the first time Kairi Sane did her elbow drop, Jim Ross was beyond impressed with it. He let her know that that was awesome. You got your by God when she hit her elbow drop. And I understand when fans get frustrated when things don't meet their expectations. Hi, I'm the master of complaining when things don't meet my expectations. But this is a situation where I can't complain about it too much because Jim Ross doesn't have to be here. Let's get something straight. Jim Ross doesn't need to work for WWE. Neither does Lita. Neither one of them have to be here doing what they do. So if he doesn't like what they're doing, he doesn't like what's going on, he can leave. And he'll be just fine. He's good. He chose to be here commentating for the Mae Young Classic. So who the hell am I to come up here and say, Jim Ross, get your act together? Who the hell is anybody to tell him that? So y'all can have your opinions about the commentary all you want. You can tell yourselves that this is the worst commentary in the world. Jim Ross is out of touch or Jim Ross can't do it anymore. I don't care what you say. Him being there, period, is fine. And like I said, the commentary at the end of the day never hurt the matches, which is more than I can ask for. Unlike Raw and freaking SmackDown where commentary completely distracts us from the match. Let's go ahead and get into these matches. I'm going to give you the results and break down my thoughts on each match. Some of them I'm just going to say, good match, moving on because there's not much else to say about it. But episode 5 opened up with Abbey Laith taking on Rachel Ellering Evers. I like to say Rachel Ellering because she's a daughter of Ellering. This is the kind of match I expected more out of Rachel. When she fought Marty Bell the first time, it was a bad match. I heard that Marty Bell was scheduled to win that match, but then they saw how horrible she was and called an audible, and so Rachel got the victory instead. Which to me, yes, I thought Rachel showed us what she's all about because she had a really good match with Abbey. I want to see more of her. I think Rachel has a lot of potential to do some great things. But Abbey wins this match. We have match number 2, Serena Deeb versus Piper Niven, Viper from ICW. Another good match. Piper continues to impress me with each match she has. Because you got this big heavy sack woman who can throw her way around like it's nothing. She's a better version of Nia Jax. That's the best way I can say it. I would rather see Piper Niven go on a big, whether it's a heel or babyface run, than ever see what they do with Nia Jax. That's just my personal opinion. See, big girls can get down too. But Piper ends up beating Serena Deeb and ending a very sentimental comeback story. She had a good run. Maybe we'll see her again on NXT. Match number 3, Princesa Sugehit take on Mercedes Martinez. Another good match. Really good technical wrestling here. Lots of counters. And counters to counters. There was a spot where Sugehit had an armbar locked on Mercedes. And Mercedes tried to roll back and counter it. Only for Sugehit to roll again and still have the armbar in. It was awesome. I have to say this. I was rooting for Kaylee Ray to get far in the tournament. There is a side of me that feels like Kaylee Ray versus Mercedes Martinez would have been a much better match. This was good. Let's get something straight. Princesa Sugehit is not a bad wrestler. Oh, I am not saying that. I just feel Kaylee Ray would have been a better opponent. I mean, she wasn't going to go far anyways, right? They wanted her to lose. So why not do Kaylee Ray versus Mercedes Martinez and get an even better match? I'm just saying. I get the whole idea of opening with a shocker because everybody thought Kaylee Ray was going to win or go far. She didn't. So, I don't know. I personally think it should have been Kaylee Ray. But Mercedes ends up beating Princesa Sugehit with her Fisherman Brainbuster. Match number 4. Oh, one of my favorites. Bianca Belair taking on Kairi Sane. This was a hell of a match. So, Belair, as you guys know, has this long strand of hair. It's a braid that she uses as a whip. And she can get away with it because it's her. It's a part of her body. Throughout this match, she was whipping, to quote Jim Ross, she was whipping Kairi Sane like a government mule. A government mule. A government mule, I can say that properly. But she was beating the hell out of her with that braid, and it looked devastating. On top of that, she pulled out some awesome moves, a lot of powerhouse, feats of strength, and then an awesome 450 splash that just made me go, Belair is awesome. Belair, sorry. I like saying Belair because I watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now this is a story, sorry. This was the equivalent of Cedric Alexander versus Kota Ibushi from the Cruiserweight tournament. And I thought Belair came out looking like an awesome performer. I hope they signed her, and I hope she stays. I want to see more of her. But Kairi Sane ends up catching her with her amazing elbow drop. And she moves on. There was also a moment in the match where Bianca blew a kiss at Kairi, and Kairi caught the kiss in thin air, threw it on the ground, and stomped on it. I love that stuff. But that was episode 5. We move on to episode 6. Lacey Evans, a Marine. God bless America, that woman's cute. Taking on Toni Storm, another one that's really cute. Solid match. Nothing much else to say about it other than they're cute and I want to see more of them, more than just because they can wrestle. Moving on, Shayna Baszler taking on Mae Young. Great match. Great effort from both women. It had a nice MMA hard-hitting edge to it with both women stiffing each other. They were hitting the hell out of each other. This was not one of those, I don't want to say fake punch, because that just sounds so wrong. Kayfabe punch. How about that? They're not kayfabe punching each other. No, they're actually stiffing, smack, smack, kick, and it was beautiful. The match ends with an awesome counter to a 450 splash. So Mae Young goes for a 450 splash on Shayna. Shayna catches her out of the splash and hooks in the rear naked choke. Beautiful. Shayna Baszler is a badass, man. I also love how, and I didn't talk about this in the first video, but I love how Shayna doesn't shake hands. She doesn't shake hands, except for that one time with her teacher. That's how you tell a story. That's how you make human beings and get you to invest in them. And Shayna, to me, is coming off looking like a star in this tournament. And I loved everything she did with her character. And we'll talk more about it when she has her, quarterfinals match. But let's get through this. Rhea Ripley ends up losing to Dakota Kai. These two had a good match. The thing is, I gotta be real with you, I wanted Rhea Ripley to win. There's something about that 20-year-old Aussie that just, I don't know what it is, but she is very attractive. I like Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is basically Bayley from New Zealand. I just thought Rhea Ripley has so much to offer. Hopefully she stays. I love her. I think she's awesome. But the final match of round 2 was Nicole Savoy. Nicole Savoy taking on Candice LeRae. I gotta be real with you. I expected a lot more out of this match. Now, what we got was good, but I thought this was gonna be an amazing match. Didn't necessarily get that. Was still a good match. Nicole gave us a little bit more of what I expected. She got to work the heel in the match, so she was a lot more cocky, a lot more abrasive, a lot more charismatic too. So maybe she should be a heel. Then we get into the quarterfinals on episode 7. We have Abbey Laith losing to Mercedes Martinez. The match was weird. This match was sloppy and kind of slow. Maybe someone got hurt, someone tweaked something, maybe that's why they were a little bit sloppy, but I expected more out of this. I don't know. I didn't say it was terrible. I actually said it was a C+ match. It wasn't that bad, but I expected more. Because Abbey Laith has been having great matches, good to great matches this entire tournament. And her last match is the one that wasn't her best. So that's weird to me. But Mercedes Martinez wins and goes on to the semifinals. Shayna Baszler has another great match. She's just banging out these great matches. I don't think I've seen a bad Shayna Baszler match yet. She took on Candice LeRae in the quarterfinals. And there was a spot in this match where Candice LeRae did a suicide dive to the outside and turned it into a DDT. Beautiful. Just awesome stuff. And then she actually did Johnny Gargano's, her husband's finisher, the crossface, the modified crossface. She did that on Shayna Baszler and almost got her to tap out. They went all out in this match. It was a great match all around. And then at the end, another crazy counter into Shayna's rear naked choke, where Candice goes for her top rope neck breaker. Shayna somehow reverses the neck breaker in thin air and hooks in the freaking rear naked choke. And then after the match, she didn't let go. She kept it locked in. I think they played off Candice being injured. They tried to do a kayfabe injury, of course, but she got an injury angle where Gargano has to go into the ring to help her out, comfort her. And then Shayna goes in and kicks her while she was down. Just good heel work, man. They're booking her like a freaking beast, and I love it. The next match is Toni Storm taking on Piper Niven. I loved the double bridge spot in this match where it was a really good stalemate where they did a double bridge and then they shook hands in that double bridge. It was awesome. It was a good way to show who they were, the characters, their relationship, what their relationship was. They were friends, and we felt that. And I love it. I love that stuff, man. I love how Toni Storm beat her, because she couldn't hit her with her finisher, the Strong Zero, which is I think it's a modified net breaker. It's pretty cool. But she couldn't hit it because Piper's too big, so she got a different way of beating her. She did a German suplex off the top rope, and then did a leg drop to beat her. So I like that. It was cool. Good match. The last quarterfinals match is Kairi Sane taking on, I believe this is Dakota Kai. Good match. But that's all I gotta say about it. You know, in terms of Kairi Sane, this is her weakest match, but it's still good. We get into the semifinals. We have teacher versus student. Shayna Baszler taking on Mercedes Martinez. The history between these two is Shayna got into the wrestling business through Mercedes. And Mercedes was her mentor. She taught her everything she needed to know, how to cut promos, how to wrestle properly, how to do everything she's doing now. And that played a lot into this match. This was a physical match. I would almost say this is the second best match of the tournament so far. The best one is still to come. But so far, this is the second best match. You can tell these two were close because they beat the hell out of each other. That's how it works in the wrestling business. If you're close, you beat the hell out of each other. But Mercedes was just wearing out Shayna with textbook moves like side suplex, back suplex, regular suplex, knife edge chops. There was even a moment where she hit Shayna with a knife edge chop and then she faked her, like, do something. And then Shayna was like, oh, she's like, please. And then she still chopped her. It was great. But they were stiff. And I like how after Shayna Baszler won, we had Stephanie, Black Swagger, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H coming out to, congratulate her, giving her some flowers. And then the last match of episode 8 and the batch itself, Toni Storm and Kairi Sane. This is the #1 best match so far. Some of you might even say it's one of the best, but to me, these two went to war. I love that Toni Storm went after Kairi Sane's elbow. See, this is the kind of stuff I look for in wrestling. You have to make me think this is competition. Toni Storm thinking, okay, her elbow drop is the only thing she has on me, so I'm going to focus on her arm through the entire match. Smart! That's how you're supposed to do it. And throughout the match, she was, doing arm bars and just doing all kinds of stuff to take out her elbow drop. And then at the end of the match, where she hooked in a bridging, what do you call that? The same submission move that Tommaso Ciampa uses. I thought she won. I thought she was going to win. When you create the idea that this is the only thing you have, and when it's taken away from you, and you get me to invest in that, You're doing your job, and these women did an awesome job. To me, the best match of the tournament so far. And I say so far because the finals is going to be Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler next week, live on the WWE Network after SmackDown. We see Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, not Stephanie, fat flacker, Stephanie McMahon, congratulating her. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler getting face-to-face, UFC style. I like that. So the finals are set. Quite frankly, this is the best match to have. I think this was the right way to go. Unlike the Cruiserweight Classic, which ended up with, what, TJ Perkins and then Grand Metalik. You had Kota Ibushi and freaking Zack Sabre Jr. That should have been your finals. And based off of their match and the G1 Climax, yeah, it should have been the finals. But I get it. They didn't sign, so they weren't in the finals. They did sign Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, so they're both going to be working for WWE going forward. I'm going to end with my predictions of the match. You have two high-quality performers. Either one could win, and I would be happy, if you ask me. But knowing WWE and knowing how patriotic they are, it would make a lot of sense if Shayna Baszler won this match. She is from USA. Now, if Kairi Sane won, I'm not going to complain at all. And to be real with you, when I watch the match, I'm probably going to be rooting for Kairi Sane because she's such an awesome babyface. And you know what? It's about time we got ourselves a legitimate heel, a badass heel like Shayna Baszler in the women's division. You know, ever since we lost Sasha Banks, we haven't really had that kind of heel. I mean, Charlotte's been good, but she hasn't been the badass that Shayna Baszler is. She's basically the Brock Lesnar of the women's division, which I love. The dynamics are there. You have the person that you're rooting against. And you have the underdog babyface who has to overcome an obstacle. Because Baszler has been dominant throughout this entire tournament. And she has no F's to give. So I am looking forward to this match. But my prediction is that at the end of it, it will be a fantastic match. Shayna Baszler will walk out the winner and will probably end up getting a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. Or you know what? They might just give her the championship then. Because it's been vacated. So we might end up giving the belt to the winner of the match. And then that will probably lead to Ember Moon fighting that winner at NXT TakeOver Houston. We'll see. This is going to be a great finals match. I think you all should check it out. But so far, Mae Young Classic, I can't complain. Personally, cannot wait for the finals. How do you guys feel about it? Down below in the comments, let me know your thoughts, your favorite match. Who do you think will win next week? Shayna Baszler or Kairi Sane? Give me your thoughts about anything. I can't wait to read your comments, can't wait to read your thoughts, but this is your boy, Deluxe Man, signing off. If this is the first time you're watching me, subscribe, like the video. Of course, check me out on Twitter at DeluxeManVX1 and follow me on Facebook and all of that stuff down below in the description box. But I will catch you guys right here in Deluxe Man's World for another video. You guys have a good day. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.